Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today for our webinar on how to simplify invoicing and collaborate with your clients. I'm Robin from the Zoho Books team. The goal of this webinar is to showcase how Zoho Books can streamline your invoicing process and ease collaboration with your clients. Creating a perfect invoice is an art. We will see how you can create a perfect invoice and do much more with invoicing in Zoho Books. Collaborating with your clients can solve multitudes of questions that arise while you're interacting and working with your client. You will see how innovatively Zoho Books handles it within the product. So, this is our agenda for the day. First, we start with creating a perfect invoice, and then we delve deep into various other functions related to invoicing in Zoho Books. Next, we deal with recurring invoicing in Zoho Books. We discuss business scenarios that require recurring invoicing, how they can create a recurring invoicing profile, and how businesses can auto charge their customers. Now that the invoices have been sent, how about we check for the receivables? So we take a look at the receivables section in the Zoho Books. How you can check them and generate receivables reports to stay on top of them. Finally, we see the collaboration section of the webinar. Why do you need to collaborate? How you can do all this in Zoho Books. We have a demo lined up for you to experience all that we have learned during the webinar process. Then we end it with a Q&A with our product expert. Before we proceed to talk about how to create a perfect invoice, it is very important for you to know why every business needs to create a perfect invoice. When your business runs on getting paid by your clients in a timely fashion, cash flow becomes critical. But when you're a small business, there's no billing police out there ready to chase them down. Your payments as they fall due. To help simplify things, we've put together a few steps to creating the perfect invoice. Once you master this format and streamline the process, you will have more time to spend on exciting aspects of your business. Step 1 would be to include the contact information. The first step in creating a simple invoice is to list all the necessary contact information. Start with your company contact details, add your logo if you have one, and then include your name, address and phone number. All this can be done via template section in Zoho Books. Then to do same with your client's contact information, listing the billing contact name, address, phone number and email address. Step 2 is to add the invoice date, as you can see here. Every invoice you create should list the invoicing date. This will make it easier to file invoices correctly, both for you and for your clients. Step 3 is to establish a simple invoicing numbering system. Every invoice you send will need to have a unique invoice number assigned to it. Invoice numbers make it easier to track your invoices for bookkeeping purposes. They are also helpful when you need to discuss a specific invoice with a client. The simplest method of assigning invoicing number is to number them sequentially. The first invoice you send can be invoice number 0001, then 02 and so on from there. If you are following a custom invoice number, go ahead. Next would be to list all your goods and services. A simple invoice should outline all the services or goods that you have provided to your client. It is easier in Zoho Books, where you can add goods or services with just a few clicks and have a description for the same. And your clients can easily identify what they are actually paying for. Other things that your client will look for are a number of hours worked, if it's a service, or the quantity if it's a physical good that is sold, the rate they pay, the subtotal for each services. All these are easily added when you create an invoice in Zoho Books. Next would be to add your payment terms. Briefly, you can explain your payment terms on each invoice, outline the payment methods that you accept, which might include some combination of the following: cash, checks, credit card, bank transfer, online payments, and terms and conditions. Your payment terms should also explain your late fee policy if you plan to charge your clients for late payment. Next, you need to include the amount due and the payment due date terms. In the invoice document, you should clearly state the amount due, include any applicable taxes along with payment due date. Make sure the information sticks out by using a bold font or by using a different color. Write out the payment deadline as a specific date, such as payment, you can use this box to do that, payment due December 31st, 2021, to avoid any confusion on part of your client. Now that you've created a perfect invoice, you need to see what more you can do in terms of invoicing in Zoho Books. Once you've created the invoice, you have to send it to your customer. You can send the invoice via email if you have your customer's email ID on file. But what if you need to send an invoice in bulk? You can go to the invoice module, select all the invoices that you want to send to your customers, and you can just send it to them in bulk. You can also collect payments using Zoho Books if you have integrated a payment gateway with it. If you have integrated with the payment gateway, you can attach the link to the invoice that you're sharing with your customer, and your customer can click on it and pay you straight out of the invoice. Sometimes due to the volume of business or a myriad of various factors, your customers might forget to pay the invoices that you have sent across. Even if you had due dates attached to the invoices. In these cases, what you can do is send your customers payment reminders. You can automate these reminders or send a manual one as well. You can see over here how you can automate 1, 2, 3, 4 or any number of new reminders as well. To send a manual reminder, just you can go to the invoice and click on the drop down and select send manual reminders. That's very easy as such. For automated reminders, you can choose the timeline to send invoices to your customers. For example, you can have the first reminder go out 2 days before due date. Second one to go out after the due date, and the third one a week after that. You can create n number of reminders based on your business equation with your customers. Sometimes you might have an invoice that might go unpaid, and you have to record this as well in your books of accounts. What you can do is select the invoice, open the drop down and select write off and enter the reason. This will write off the invoice and the amount will be recorded under bad debts account. If you want to, you can also void this invoice and this will not show up in any books of accounts as well. Voiding an invoice should be done when a mistake has been made and you wish to remove the history of the purchase from the customer's record altogether. Now both these scenarios are unique. Choose which one you want to use wisely and which one works for your situation, whether you want to write it off or you can want to void it. You can also review the invoice status in Zoho Books. Zoho Books offers plenty of ways to see what stage your invoices are in the product. You can see the invoice in draft stage, pending approval stage, approved stage, or a client viewed stage, and so on. You can also create a custom view based on your criteria and take a look at those invoices right out of the invoice module. So to summarize the art of creating a perfect invoice, you need to take care of certain details so that a customer feels easy to pay you on time. Zoho Books does most of the heavy lifting for you. All the information is pre-fed and you just have to select the relevant data, and voila, you have a perfect invoice. Then we saw how you can send invoices, collect payments, remind your customers to pay you if they haven't, and what you can do with unpaid invoices, and finally review all the invoices that you have with pre-built views or custom views. Now we move on to the recurring invoices. If you invoice your client on a recurring basis for a product or a service, you can save yourself the hassle of creating a new invoice every time there is a recurring sale, and use the recurring invoices module to send your customers an invoice in fixed intervals. Memberships, rents, leases or contracts, services for hire, or even water service might be recurring in nature. Basically, any business that's recurring in nature or has subscriptions can use recurring invoices to create a hassle-free business environment. You can create a recurring invoice profile for your customers by going to the sales module and selecting recurring invoices. You just need to enter a few details to start the process. We start with the customer name, then the profile name, since the customer can have multiple recurring invoices and each profile denotes which type of recurring invoice it is. You can select the start date and end date recurring invoice of the recurring invoice profile. The end date can be indefinite if you choose to have it so, and then you can select the payment terms for the invoice and then add items and select the payment gateways, and now your recurring invoice will be created. Once you have created a recurring invoice, you can choose from three options. You can save the invoice as a draft and send them when you want to. You can review them and then send them. Basically, that's the point over there. The second option is to create, auto approve and send invoices to your customers, and they can pay you using payment links. The third option is to auto charge your customers. With recurring invoices in Zoho Books, you get an option to auto charge your clients when the invoices are created. You just have to set this as your preferences. Create, auto approve and send invoices. With Zoho Books, you get a chance to also manually intervene if you have a recurring invoice profile. In this case, you can choose to create an invoice from the existing recurring invoice manually. This will be in cases when you want to generate the same invoice with different details. For example, a different date in the recurring invoice profile and the records would show it as manually added invoice. What happens if your recurring contract with the client is done? You can easily stop the recurring invoices with Zoho Books. You can just select the stop from more drop down in the recurring invoice profile. Sometimes you might want to take a step back and take a look at all the invoices that are being sent out to your customers. You can filter and find all the active or cancelled or stopped or expired invoices. You can also create a custom view for the recurring invoices, and these can be created according to the criteria that you have set for the recurring invoices. So With Zoho Books, you can easily manage your recurring business with ease, and it also gives you the flexibility to auto charge your customers and intervene and create a manual invoice as well. Okay, so now if you do not manage your receivables, your cash flows will be skewed and your business might come to a screeching halt. In fact, 82% of small businesses fail due to cash flow problems. So staying on top of your receivables is essential for any business in this economic climate and a highly competitive business environment. So all your receivables are usually the first thing you see when you sign into your Zoho Books account. Our dashboard displays your receivables and your recent cash flow chart as well. To find out your long unpaid invoices with Zoho Books, you can find accounts receivable agings report to find out your long unpaid receivables. You can also create and generate a report to fall in your inbox at a specified intervals, can be weekly, monthly or quarterly or yearly as well. So you get to know what are your set of scheduled receivables. Zoho Books also has a report that can show your receivables by each customer. The customer balances report helps you figure out your receivables and how you can get your long due receivable backs from your customers. But all this can be sorted with better collaboration with the customer. So collaborating with your clients through Zoho Books. So businesses need to work hard to keep the customers they have. Customer retention is very important, as you all might know. Collaboration is one way of ensuring clients stay happy and don't seek out a new service or product that fills their needs. When your customer service reps work together on tickets, answers are delivered in more efficient manner. So how do you do this in Zoho Books? So presenting client portal. The client portal in Zoho Books is a dedicated space for your customers to view and manage all their transactions. It provides them more control over such actions as accepting estimates or paying invoices from one place. So once you have set up the client portal, you'll be able to collaborate with customers on estimates and get them approved from them directly via the client portal. Check when a customer has viewed your invoice. Enable customers to pay for all the invoices from a single place. Submit your time entries for approval before you invoice them. Get reviews from the customers about your business. You can also interact and discuss with customers in real time over comments. The client portal will be available for your organization by default. To provide your customers with access to client portal, you have to configure the client portal for each contact individually in Zoho Books. Do remember the prerequisite. The client portal can be configured only for customers who have an email address. To configure the portal access for a customer, go to sales module, select the customers section, select the customer for whom you want to provide the access for, like I've done over here, and click on more, and you get to configure the client portal for this person. In the pop-up, select the contact person for whom you want to provide the access for. Click select set portal password and enter the password that the customer needs to use to log into the portal. Once you click save, Zoho Books will send an email to your customer inviting them to the portal. You can customize this email content as well. Transactions that you have created for your client will be visible to them in the client portal. Let's take a look at the various actions you will be able to perform in each module. The home module or the dashboard module that you can see in the screen right now is the first screen that your customers see when they log into the client portal. It gives them an overview of the transactions that took place between you and the customer. They can view the following details on the dashboard as well: outstanding invoices, the available credits, outstanding retainers and invoices, available retainer payments and last payment made, estimates and timesheets as well. Your client can accept estimates that have been sent to them. They can also pay for invoices that you have sent across. Your customers can also track payments that they have made to you. Finally, your clients can generate the statement of accounts without even getting in touch with you. You can also ask your customers to write a review about your business right from the client portal, and you can gauge how well you have been doing with your clients. Now let's have a live demo on how you can create a perfect invoice. First, log into your Zoho Books account and click on the sales module and select the invoices. You can create a new invoice with the plus button over here. Select the customer. All the details get auto populated, as you can see. You can number the invoice yourself, or you can just go with the regular number. These are the 6 elements that we had earlier discussed, so we are discussing them again. So as I told, the customer name, the invoice date could be 15th of July or 16th of July. You can have a terms due at the end of the month, or you can have a custom term. You can net 50, net 45, and the due date is auto populated over here. You can add a subject. I'm just putting a trial invoice. I'm just putting a items are tax exclusive. Then I'm selecting the item that I want to sell. Audio mixer for your studio. Okay, and he wants 2 of the quantities. The quantity becomes very clear and the rate is auto populated. If you want, you can provide some discount as well, percentage wise or dollar or any currency wise discount as well. I'm providing like 2% discount, shipping charges if there are any, like £10. Adjustment, thank you for business, and terms payment terms have been mentioned. All these can be provided over here. And yeah, you can, if since I have Stripe integrated with my Zoho Books account, we highly recommend that you integrate with the payment gateway over here. Your customer, when they receive this email, the invoice via email, they can pay you straight out of the invoice as such. So you can just save and send over here. Once you click that, the invoice has been created. You can attach a customer statement. This is how the invoice would be when they get it in the email, and you can click the pay now button and you can attach a customer statement if you want, and you can attach the PDF as well and just send it. Once you've sent it, it just goes. Yeah, now next would be, we will focus on the collaboration part. So using the client portal feature, to enable client portal for any of your clients, you need to go to the customers module, select the customer and enable this portal. Once you click this, you select the email ID that you want to provide access to. Your customers can have multiple email IDs or multiple contacts. You can enable client portal for all the clients contact as well. You can set a portal password or just click save, and the client will get to create the password for themselves. Once you have sent it, it goes via email. They have to accept the terms and they have to create their own password now. Yeah, the first thing they see is, once they enter, they can view their estimates, comment accepted, invoices seen for the payments made so far, and last but not least, they can view, download and print their statements as well. So this is the first thing they see. Now this will be the dashboard that they see every time they log in. They can see their outstanding invoices, estimate approval pending if they have any, and their details. So you can go and edit their like your customer can go and edit their billing address, shipping address if they want to, if there is some change in it. You can in the estimates tab, your client can view all the estimates. So you can open it up and he can accept it, decline, or enter comments looking for a better deal. They can add this comment and this comment will be visible to you as well, and I can accept this or decline this better deal. So your customer has more control over what he's getting to do, and you can collaborate better with them. And if they want to, they can pay for their open invoices as well if they have an payment gateway configured. Since I showed you how our org is configured with Stripe, I can just click pay over here, and all the card details can be entered and your client can make the payment straight out of this. They can also check all the payments that they have made till now over here, and also the statements for a period of time. So you can select for today's statement, this week's or this quarter's, or any of the statements that they want to see, and they can download it out, print it out straight from here. So now we are done with our demo. If you have any questions, please ask us in the questions tab. Also, you can write to us at support-wave@zohobooks.com. Now a product expert will answer all your questions. Thank you so much for joining us today.